Hello, good afternoon. I'm going to do a video on an update on my central boiler CL5648. Central boiler CL5648. I bought this unit used. I've been using it for about 7 weeks now. I can't believe how good it works. Actually, it's a little bit too big for my house, but I'd rather be too big and too small. I'll show you a couple things I got going on here on this update. Like I said, it's about 7 weeks. I done nothing to it. I did add a tiny bit of water. I'll explain it to you in a minute. Let this car go by. I do recommend that you spend the money, even though you don't want to, because you're trying to save money, but you got to spend money to make it last. I put 2 gallons of this product in here. From Central Boiler, it was about $55 a gallon. And also every night I put 1 scoop of this ash cleaner. I guess it neutralizes your ashes. I did some research for what I was told. I guess it's lime. I'm not sure. If anybody knows for sure, drop me a comment. Thank you. I've been using this for about 5-6 weeks now, and a scoop a day. I probably got half a container left. I want to say it was $25, but if I can get an extra year or 2 out of the stove for $25 each year, it's well worth it. So I recommend use Central Boiler products. I know you can get other stuff that might be cheaper, but who knows what's going to work. At least these guys kind of tested a little bit, stand behind their stuff. My stove is from 2005. I picked it up used for $200. I had to weld a plate in there in the corner. Not that big, probably 3 inches by 6 inches to fix a small hole. After about 8 hours of welding, it works great. So I'll show you around. Up here is water fill. You're supposed to check it every day. There's a little line here, this rubber hose. You just take this little switch, turn it up, and you can see the water's up to there. And that's the full mark, so we're in good shape. You're supposed to check it once a day. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. The only tool I really recommend having for when you're playing with your wood stove is just this little fork. Maybe even a hoe would work for a garden. It actually broke, but it works great. So if you want to take a peek, look inside, let some of the smoke clear out. Got some creosote. Actually, a lot of creosote. So the first thing I do before I stir up the ashes a little bit, I take the end of this, stick it in here in the door breather. Push it a couple times to make sure that it's not stuck closed. What I'm trying to do to get rid of some of this ash problem is opening the door. I say the creosote problem is opening the door, letting it burn pretty hot for like 5 minutes or so. When it gets roaring, it'll flash over. And if you look inside, I haven't cleaned it all yet, and I probably got maybe a 3-inch bed of ashes. So I haven't done no cleaning to it at all yet, not one single thing. Like I said, I did add some water, because when I first started it, it was pretty warm out, and it boiled over at 212 degrees. And out of the top, which I'll show you where, you got to make sure you leave that part open. It lets the pressure out, so I had to probably add about, one time I added about 20 gallons of water. And added about 20 gallons of water to top it back off, but it was nothing major. But you can see I got the door open now. It's going to start burning hot. I'm going to try burning some of that creosote off. A couple times already this season, I melted my eyelashes and my eyebrow, sticking my head in there, loading up with some wood. That was pretty cool. It was fun. You'll figure it out after a while, but you'll see it's going to get hot. It's going to start rolling the fire on itself, and that's what they're going to call a flashover. If you're in the fire department or watch the movie Backdraft, you know what a flashover is. It's starting to get going pretty good. I'm sure you could feel the heat at home. You can see the creosote on the side walls is starting to burn. So the side walls are starting to catch on fire and burn the creosote out.
Wait a minute, let me get this last bit.
Nice and warm in here. What I like about the stove is it's so large. You could put 4-foot pieces of wood in there. It takes it compared to my other stove. My other stove worked good, but this one's just the Cadillac of the Cadillac. I would highly recommend the central boiler. Got my wood off to the side over here. What I do is I just cut enough wood maybe for half an hour. So I'll, on the tarp over here, I'll open it up for you and show you. I just put enough wood, that'll probably last for at least a week. I throw a couple rounds in on the bottom at night. Now when I say stuff it, most people think I fill it to the top. I only put maybe 5 or 6 pieces of the split wood and then 2 pieces of 2 or 3 these for the night. It works perfectly. I'll show you around a little bit on the stove. I'll show you what I did notice. Right now I'm at 193 degrees. Check my lights real fast. Side lights on. Front lights on. Turn it off. Look inside. My little connectors in here. Nice and hot. Nice and hot. We got a little crud going on in there. I did take some 1-inch, or I should say 3/4 inch brass copper fitting, I should say copper, and made the lines, and I connected them down here. I wrapped them up just to try to make it save a little bit of energy and heat. There's a plug up there if you guys never had one, in case you want a vacuum cleaner, or I don't know do what, but some good operating instructions on here. It does come with the a test kit to test the water, like you would test your pool for the pH, but that's way too much work for me. I'll show you the back of it real quick. As you can see on the stove, at the top up here, I'll zoom in on it. There's supposed to be right there, that little cap on the top is supposed to have a little cover on it. But my stove didn't come with it. Make sure that isn't plugged. Make sure that stays open all the time. And also on your chimney, you're supposed to have a cover with it, but unfortunately the guy didn't give me the cover, so I'm not spending money on the cover. Too much money. But that little part right there, when it gets to 212 degrees, instead of the unit blowing up, that relieves the pressure out of there. And if it gets pretty warm, it actually makes like a farting noise. It goes boop, 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 boop. But I have not done any cleaning to this at all. Took nothing out. You can see my, I'm showing some signs of some creosote, but all I burn in here is pine, poplar, all free stuff. So it's like I said, it's been about 7 weeks. Next time I'm gonna take out this back and see how much water I got in there. I should say creosote buildup, because if you look down at the bottom, it is dripping. And you can see the creosote marks on the side. Where it comes together, it's got some creosote. So I was talking to a couple other people that got stoves, and they said that that's because I'm not burning it hot enough. But since I've had it since the first day, 7 weeks ago, it really has been super, super cold here in Buffalo, New York. And that little door on the bottom, it opens up when it calls for heat or air. It hasn't opened out one time yet, so I think by opening the door for 5 or 10 minutes, let the fire get going, might be working a little bit, trying to burn out some of that creosote. The wood stove is a lot of work, but if you could do it, you could save money, but also the amount of money, I should say, the amount of effort, time that I put into it, it's pretty much just the same as paying the fuel guy to deliver the gas or propane to your house. So I would highly recommend this unit. Central boiler, classic. Don't be scared of them if they got a leak. You could weld them and get them going. They're really some heavy pieces of equipment that they build, Central boiler. If you like this video, please subscribe. I'll make more. I made a quick video earlier about my wood splitter and that. I'll show you in action, or myself in action. And don't forget to spend the money and get the good products made by Central Boiler. You won't be sorry. Thank you. I'll talk with you shortly.